Hello, hello, hello. I gotta go and check this again because they always do this to me every day. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, it's working. I have to check it all the time because they're trying to deter me in what's every way. I make phone calls, I start getting into deepness, and they cut me. They cut what he is going to say. Is doing that. AI is on top of us. The beast. Well, it's not the beat, but it's yes, it is. It's the beast system, the three score. 666 doesn't say that in the Bible, man. 6 3 score 6. That'll give you the wrong teaching. That's why it's never been taught right. Okay. So, war's been declared today against Canada, USA, against the world. And yet, the church, my wife, I said, are they teaching that Israel is going to be desolate? Are they teaching that? So, what God means by Israel, the whole world, it's going to start there. And on the way over top of us, they'll drop some bombs because Canada has no protection and USA backed out. Why? I've been telling this for years. Okay? Or you knew that. I always wondered why we had no nukes, wondered why we had no special forces. We should have almost the equivalent for forces as America. Not quite because they're huge, but we should have the equivalent of Turkey. Turkey's got way more than we do. We are left open for their spoils, guys. It's going to get brutal. This is the dark winter. Meaning dark, meaning evil. Not the sun not giving its light. It's not giving its light today. It's cloud, but there's still light in the sky. We won't be here when it goes dark because it would freeze minus 200 degrees and nobody would make it to heaven. Such a silly teachings, man. So how come the church isn't telling their people? Are you kidding me? My wife said no. They're just teaching the old stuff they always did. They're not warning their people. So if you're not warning your people, that sword is coming for the church. Did you guys figure out every single pastor in every single building is a false teacher? Every single one of them. Get that. Everyone today. Because they went and made a deal when everything's shut down that you cannot teach what time we live in. And if you do teach Revelations, teach it wrong. And that's why they do that. Church is not telling nobody nothing. That's ridiculous. Those aren't people of God. Those ones in your pastor church building are not of God today. And that is 90% of YouTube and 98% of TikTok. I am sick of it. They have zero discernment. Because if you don't have full discernment, you have zero. Remember, this book said yesterday, we get all the information before anybody on earth. That's news, that's whatever you want to say it, the elites, the government, the military. You were warned first. I've been warning people 6 years, almost 7. So about what's going to happen. Because the Lord gave me discernment of it. You should see the troops are just shooting up things right now. The war is on. But it's been on for 6 years. Against what? Israelites. Us inside. Your flesh has to go die to go back to Satan for your soul to be saved. KJV. Anybody says that Israel is their flesh. Sorry, Jeremiah on TikTok. You're a false teacher, man. I did get some truth out of him, but he's a false teacher. Where's the KJV in here? There it is. So to deliver such as one unto Satan for destruction. Why? Because your flesh is his. That's the beast. Man and beast. The number of the beast is the number of a flesh. Of the flesh. So to deliver such one unto Satan for destruction, 2 in the field, 1 gets delivered to Satan, 1 goes to God. Let's hope both don't get delivered to Satan, because that's a double death. We don't suffer a double death. They do. Satan for destruction of the flesh. I must mark that one down. 1 Corinthians 5:5. Hold on. I'm not going to spend time. My Bible's making me mad. I don't want to get upset. All right, sorry guys. I have to mark that down. What's that telling you? Your flesh is a beast. How else can you say it? Goes back to Satan. Number of the beast has been here since man. Oh, one guy told me today, no, that doesn't come until after Revelation 18. Okay. You must not know. It's horrible out there. So 1 Corinthians 5:5. This tells you better for me just to write it down on my board and save these ones. Okay. Which I'll do. I'm going to write on there for now, but we got to get going. Get learning here. Let's have a look.
My fellow Christian sisters, dressing in house of God is appalling.
Come at church and think about Jesus and you looking like a stripper. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with it? You see, your mothers, your daughters, your niece and aunts, they're like this. You women.
Wow, he's teaching against clothing. Do you know what? You could wear whatever clothing you want as long as it doesn't have symbols of the devil, but all of our clothes have that. So why are they saying in church you must dress? You can't dress like that. You can dress like you want. Okay? That's a Jennings. He's one of the falsest teachers I've ever heard. There's more angels. Wow, wow. You can't tell me. These things are going around everywhere. Real angels. Let's see what people said. It is. Some guy said it's real. Okay, let's get going here. And these people, oh, they call them real hologram. All good. Beam. Okay. These people, you look at it again, you guys. You tell me that that's a hologram leaving a trail behind. Holograms don't leave trails. Like, people are ridiculous, man. They just have no hologram. They wouldn't know the difference between the hologram and the backside. That's because they're scared. Everybody knows who isn't written in the Lamb's Book of Life right now. By now, you should know that. Okay? They know, so they're doing every last ditch effort to trap people into this world in their flesh. Hold on. All right, so we're going to continue where we were. I'm just going to give you left off. You have to know your beginning before your end. You have to know your Holy Spirit. You have to know where you came from to make it back there. Okay, so we're on page the Greek. Oh. Okay, the Greek fragments. I never went beyond this before because I didn't know it was. These are the hidden saying that Jesus spoke to Judas, who is also called Thomas. And he said, whatsoever find the interpretations of the saying, not taste death. Okay, it's the same thing. I was just checking it, guys. We're going to get going here. Okay. So Jesus said, look to the living one, Jesus. As long as you live, or you might die. Stop looking and you might fall. And then try to see the living one, and you will be unable to see. You can't see in your flesh. Jesus, nobody today has seen Jesus all the way back since he went to heaven in their flesh, like Mr. False Teacher Steve Quayle says. Money eaters. No one's able to see in the flesh. Oh, I know one other lady. Yeah, well, she's a false teacher too. You would either see him in a vision or be took a vision, or be taken out to see him. You can't see him in here. You'd have been consumed. He's the sun. He ain't going to come all the way down, stand there beside you, burn you up, and then go. He has the destroyers for that. So he saw a Samaritan carrying a lamb as he was going to Judah. He said to his followers, that person is carrying the lamb around. What are we doing? We're carrying the lamb around. And they said to him, then he may kill it and eat it. So drink thy flesh, eat thy blood. Communion, read the book of the Bible. That's eating the flesh and drinking his blood. Doing communion and moving forward, always, never turning, and kill it. And he said to them, he will not eat it while it is alive, but after he has killed it, and it has become a carcass. And otherwise he cannot do it. He said to them, so also with you, seek for yourself a place for rest. You got to keep seeking it. You don't have full rest, you're laboring. Or you might become a carcass and be eaten. So that's what it all means. Read the word, listen to the word, pray, sing, all that stuff. Eating his flesh is communion. Eating his flesh is reading his flesh. He's the word. Jesus said, two will rest on a couch, and one die and one live. Two men in the field. His flesh dies, goes back to Satan, and he lives. Two women grinding at the mill. One goes back to the earth, and the other goes. They don't know that. That is so rare. They say that's rapture. Yeah. There's another one. No, it's not. Who are your Salome said, who are you, mister? You have climbed into my couch and eaten from my table as if you are from someone. Don't feed the dogs and the scraps at your tables, because they're going to take it and use it against you. That's what that means. You have eaten the word. You've sat on my channel. You've eaten the word that I've given you from my table if you were from someone. Jesus said to her, I am the one who comes from what is whole. You're not whole until you're there. That's why he says that. I was given from the things of my Father. I was given. God, Jesus, they're not a Trinity God. They're not a single God. We all work as a unit. That's what singularity means. You could take an engine, has many parts in it, but it's one. Jesus is not God. God is not Jesus, but we're all in each other. We all have a part of each other, because he was the first of the brethren, and we were with him at the beginning. So I am your follower. For this reason I say, if one is whole, one will be filled with light. Whole and full. You can't get that until Ezekiel 39, until you're sitting with the horses, the chariots, and the men of old. This book clearly, Bible tells you that over and over. If you're broken, you need a physician. If you're fixed, you're not going to be here. Your two eyes would be made single. So one will be filled with light, but if one is divided, one will be filled with darkness. Look at all the division in the church. 90% of the church is divided, and they're serving the beast, and they don't know it. Those are the ones that'll wonder when they'll go, well, I preached in your name. Yeah, well, you preached false doctrine. You told millions of people, which told millions of people, the blood is required on your hands, because if they followed you right into the pit, it is their fault, but you have to pay for it. That's death. That is blood of us, spiritually. Jesus said, I disclose my mysteries to those who are worthy of my mysteries. End time's a mystery. He's going to reveal, I don't know how many times it says that, hundreds and thousands in the Bible. Oh, no man. I'm not a man. I'm in spirit. No wonder why you say no man. Because you're scared that you're not going to make it. They already know, everybody already knows what book they're in. That's why they're fighting so hard. And they're scared too. Some of them have children and they're scared and they fear and they're embarrassed about speaking about Jesus and they're holding everything back. The worst time for that. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Do not let the evil know what, because you're on the right. Evil's on the left. Don't let the evil know what you are doing. They don't get that one either. So Jesus said there's a rich person who had a great deal of money. He said, I shall invest my money so that I may sow, reap, plant, and fill my storehouses. Storehouses, chamber, sacred place, same thing. With produce. You give it out, she builds the produce to give back to you, to give out more, that I may lack nothing. What are you lacking? The truth and mysteries? Yeah, not us. So these were the things he was thinking in his heart. I will do it so I can get to heaven, seeking to save his life. He's not doing it because he loves. He's doing it for credit and to save his life. But the very night he died, whosoever has ears should hear that. I just told you the interpretation of it. He was taken by the destroyer. Jesus said a person who was receiving guests, when he had prepared a dinner, he sent his servants to invite the guest. And the servant went to the first and said to them once, my master invites you. And the person said, some merchants owe me money. They are coming to me tonight. I must give them instruction. Please excuse me from this. It's the same thing with us that are teaching. But you guys come in and listen. I'm not saying that. You're too busy. Ooh. Busybodies don't make it into heaven. So they're not doing enough. I'm too busy. So the servant went to another and said, oh, my master has invited you. The person said to the servant, I have bought a house and I have been called away for a day. I shall have no time. And the servant to another and said to that one, my master invites you. And the person, the servant, my friend is to be married and I'm arranged a banquet. I shall not be able to come. Please excuse me from the dinner. The servant went to another and said one, my master invites you. The person said to the servant, I have bought an estate and now I'm going to collect the rent. I shall not be able to come. Please excuse me. They're not giving any measure. They're not doing enough. They're not. Right now is important. Every teaching that the Lord has me doing. Anyways, I'm not judging because I'm just teaching. The servant said to the master, the people whom invited to dinner have asked me to be excused. The master said unto the servant, go out the streets and bring back whomsoever you should find to have dinner. Buyers and merchants will not enter into the places of my Father. No rich man can go through the eye of a needle. The camel goes through it easier. Easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. No buyers and merchants will not enter into the places of the Father. Why? Because they're too busy with the world, Satan, buying and selling. So he said a user owned a vineyard and rented it to the farmers so that they might work and they might collect produce from them. And that's what your she does. And he sent a servant to the farmers that might give a servant to produce the vineyard. There is your helpmeet. There is your Holy Spirit again. He sent you a servant, an angel. Talks about it in the Bible. In Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They seized, beat, almost killed the servant, and the servant returned to told his master, and his master said, perhaps he did not know them. He sent them another servant, and the farmers beat that one as well. Then the master sent his son, and he said, perhaps they will show my son some respect, since the farmers knew that he was the heir to the vineyard, Jesus Christ. They seized him and killed him on the cross. They didn't kill him, but that's just what it's saying. Whatsoever has ears should hear. Jesus said, show me the stone that the builders rejected. That is the cornerstone. That's him, the foundation, the cornerstone. Your foundations. Jesus said, one who knows everything but lacks in oneself lacks everything. If you lack within here, you're going to lack everywhere. Jesus said, blessings when you are hated and persecuted, and no place will be found whatsoever you have been persecuted. I'm trying to get used to it. It's very hard. I've been fighting that one for years. But, it's getting better. Jesus said, blessing on those who have been persecuted in their hearts. They're the ones who have truly come to know the Father. Since I was born. Blessings on I remember my cousin say, well, you're not blood. You might as well say, well, you're not family. Blessings on those who were hungry, that the stomach of the person is want may be filled. Hungering, thirsting. Jesus said, if you bring forth what is within you, what you have will save you. Your spirit. Because we have a spirit in us as well. And if anybody says it's not in the conscience, well, then you wouldn't think about Jesus. That's a false doctrine, Abba. Guy sits on the YouTube, false teaching. He's got a lot right. But that's one he's got wrong. Because here it is. If you bring forth what is within you, what you have will save you. So where is your spirit? Well, this is your soul. Where is your spirit in your... Remember, you have two minds. That's why you're not to be double-minded. If you're double-minded, you probably won't make it. If your mind's all on Jesus, your subconscious, that's where it is. He says, anybody teaching that Jesus is in your conscience, that's false. Well, if you're not thinking about Jesus ever, that's your conscious that does that. And your subconscious moves forward to take over your fleshly conscious. That is your part of your spiritual body. You have a fleshly body and a spiritual body. And part of that spiritual body is here and there. And it's not whole until you combine the two. You want to have to save you. If you do not have that within you, what will you do not have within you will kill you. If you don't have part of that Holy Spirit in you, you have a destroyer. The destroyer in Revelations, the foul cage and the birds of the air. That's what you have. So if you... Okay. I have to have a sleep here, guys, really soon, like right now, because I can barely stay awake. I'm going to come on and finish this, Okay. But I just wanted to come on and do a quick, and there's not very many people on, so I'm going to wait for the rest of it. God bless you guys. See you in a bit. I'm going to have a sleep. What the heck? Wrong button.